and that's wonderful about Poland. They might ask this, they might ask that.
Like getting visas and some are being refused.
Difference between Polish and Indians, culturally, I think the Poles are very, very embracing.
Hello guys, today I want to surprise you with very cool guest, Mr. Krishna from India himself. He came for our podcast today. I feel it will be very informative and very interesting for you. I have a lot of questions to you, but of course we are limited in time, so we'll be only talking about the most interesting parts. The first question which I'm asking to everyone is why Poland?
Why Poland? Poland, for me, is very interesting is because it's got so much of history, so much of culture. Honestly, my whole career, I never thought that I would relocate to Poland. There were multiple opportunities, multiple countries, multiple places that I could have gone to, but Poland was very interesting for me purely because of the history and the culture that the country comes with. And I was very curious, and I wanted to be a part of this. I wanted to be a part of this ecosystem, this culture, try and learn how people are, try and learn their culture, and that's how I landed in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And your purpose of stay here is job, right?
Yes, I'm currently employed in Poland. I used to be employed with the same employer in India. Mm-hmm. It was an internal movement. There was a need for a director to manage IT operations in Poland. Mm-hmm. And I applied, and fortunately I got selected. So quite an experience so far. I've been working with the same employer for the last 8 years. Mm-hmm. And 1 year in Poland so far. Yeah.
Did they offer you some in other countries?
Yeah. I had an option of either going to Dubai or to Poland. Dubai could have been a better option considering the distance from India, 3-4 hours by flight. Poland's a lot farther away. Also, from a climate perspective, I think Poland's a little more extreme compared to Dubai. Considering I'm Asian, I can manage the heat pretty well, but the cold has been something. But like I said earlier, this was a very interesting place for me. Culturally, I wanted to know this place by myself, the people. Mm-hmm. How it is on the ground is because we've seen so many movies, so many documentaries about Poland and everything that happened here. So, but I'm glad. I don't regret for a single minute. I don't rethink of the decision I made to move to Poland. I'm glad that I made these decisions because it's been nothing but great from the time I stepped into Poland. Nothing but great. Yeah.
How you can divide in percentage the amount of foreigners which are working in your team and Polish people?
Majority of the people who work with me are Polish. As a matter of fact, I was the first Indian in the company in Poland, and fortunately or coincidentally, we hired another person moved from another company. Mm-hmm. To our department, and he happens to be Indian as well. But that was for a very, very short period. But yeah, I'm the only Indian in the company so far. But great.
Can you find some difference in international business culture between Polish and Indians?
Difference between Polish and Indians, I don't think there's too much of a difference, and this is something that surprises me almost every day at work, at life, even when I'm socializing outside. I think the Poles and Indians are very, very similar. I think they're very, very family oriented. They're very cultural. They're warm-hearted. In general, they're God-fearing, right? So I don't find anything out of the ordinary when I meet a Polish person or when I meet an Indian. Even when I meet elderly people in Poland, they seem just like my grandparents. Similar conversations, similar thought processes, and so on. So honestly, I feel just like at home, except for the weather, except for the infrastructure. I feel just like at home. So absolutely.
Polish people, they are very, very family oriented.
Yeah.
So they might look different when you first see Polish person, but when you start to meet him, know about this person more, you understand that family culture in this country is very strong.
Yeah.
What about your experience with visa? How it went through?
Until normally my normal thought process about getting a visa, because in today's world you keep traveling, my normal thought process about getting a visa to any country is as simple as going online, putting in your information, wait for a couple of days, and your visa gets approved. It's either visa on arrival, it gets stamped there, or gets sent to an embassy to get stamped. That was a similar thought process that I had with Poland, or getting a Polish visa. But it was a little different than I expected, is because I realized that the selection process, or the process of approving a visa, is a lot more longer in Poland. And I strongly believe that it is for the good reasons, is because I think when you're in Poland, you feel safe. You don't feel intimidated, you don't feel scared. Even if you want to take a walk late in the night, you feel absolutely safe, is because that's the kind of people Poland admits, or the screening process is that thorough. So because of this, I think the duration of the time it takes to procure a visa for Poland is a lot longer.
Why do you think that some people are getting visas and some are being refused? What's the reason?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know why people are getting visas refused to Poland. But I think the criteria, or the screening process, is fairly simple. It's nothing out of the ordinary. There are very simple documents that are expected. There's a very clear checklist that's put across. I think they need your passport, they need your experience letters, and they need some basic education documents and your ID proof. As simple as this. It's the formality is a lot lesser than getting a driver's license, right? So, but I think the scrutiny it goes through, or the process that it goes through to get approved, is quite lengthy. And for obvious reasons, it seems like they're doing a good job.
Have you been stressing before applying? We have a scary interview, a lot of questions.
It was quite stressful. It was very stressful. I'll tell you why. Is because I was in a full-time, fully occupied job, and because I had to move to Poland, the last date by my Indian employer was decided, and the first day by my Polish employer was decided. Though it was intercompany movement, but the visa took 2 months later than my last day in India. So I was quite stressful, because I was practically unemployed, though I was still working with the company. But that's okay, But my employer was very, very rational, very, very understanding. They still had me in payroll, so no problem. But the process of getting the visa, I anticipated there could be an interview, and I prepared myself. I felt like I went back to school is because I opened the map and checked which are the neighboring countries and all of that,
Names of mountains, of rivers, where I will be leaving the name of street and
exactly. So and for an Indian, pronouncing some of these words could be quite exhausting, quite difficult. But I prepared quite a lot. Honestly, it's funny is because I've never prepared on the way to an exam. But on the way to the embassy or the VFS office, I was preparing. Okay, they might ask this, they might ask that.
Typical student.
But fortunately, when I went there for my visa application process, there was no interview. They exempted me from the interview. Thank God. It was just verification of paperwork, if it was all put together properly, and then submissions. The process of submitting the paperwork took less than 20 minutes for me.
It's really cool. It's big luck, actually. Yeah. But anyway, I think if you could experience an interview, it could be very smooth. Because it's very high level job, and in the Polish interest is to give you a visa, so you will come, you increase the income of the company, so it's obvious, actually. Yeah. They may be filtering and like you said, that they will scan the documents of people who are going for blue-collar job, and they maybe put in some suspicious questions. Yeah. So to understand if this blue-collar job is real job or not, or because we know that on the market there are a lot of fake job, and people just overusing the documents. That's why they're getting refused.
I think in a way it also protects the employee, the person who's traveling, is because if the job might not be legitimate, you never know what this person's going to do after he comes here, right? So if it's a blue collar job, if this person might not be economically strong, he might be investing quite a lot of resources to relocate to Poland.
Exactly.
And imagine the job never existed. It's heartbreaking, right? So it could put that person into a lot of pressure. So I think in a way the scrutiny is good, is because it protects both interests from the Polish government perspective and from the individual who's moving to Poland perspective. I think it's very important.
Some of our corporate customers, they are actually relocating people from other countries, and it's very costly.
Yeah.
Like mathematics is very high here. They need to invest a lot of money in formalities to prepare the work permits, legalize signatures, because for some countries it's very easy to bring person, but from some countries, those people, they need to get special certificates, like for example, Philippines. The person who has work permit and even the visa, still he cannot leave Philippines unless he will get like overseas Filipino worker certificates, OVAs, which will allow him to go out to work abroad.
Wow.
So some specific countries, they have those issues.
Additional paperwork.
Exactly, and it costs very high price for employer to invite the person, and to make this investment they need to understand this person is reliable, because they can refuse on any step. Like work permit process initiated, person decided not to go to Dubai or countries which are more easy like in destiny to reach. So they have to trust, by the way. What are your first experiences when you came to Poland? The first impressions?
Okay. So that's a great question, because the airline lost all my luggage when I moved to Poland.
Where it was on changes, or you?
Yeah, it was in Frankfurt, where my luggage was all lost. Luckily, and I normally don't do this, luckily is because I was relocating and not just traveling for business or for vacations. I was relocating. I practically had clothes even in my backpack, so I could survive for a few days. But they found my luggage and made it, had it available in my hotel.
It was the same days they found, or
they were nice enough to find it the same day, but it reached me late in the evening. But so it was quite an experience, because my driver in the car who's supposed to pick me up, because I got delayed with trying to track my luggage, had to leave because he felt I was a no-show. I did not turn up. But it was quite a nice thing. I tend to look at it from the positive perspective, is because the very first minute I landed, I was troubleshooting and problem solving, and I could kind of get the flavor of how people respond, how people react, how they prioritize an urgent situation. And that's why I said, it feels just like India, is because culturally people are the same. Everybody was super helpful. They were very, very caring. Until I took a cab from the airport till my hotel, I was totally cool, no problem. But going back to your question of how's my experience in Poland, I reached Poland in the month of August last year, and it was pleasant. The weather was pleasant, bright, sunny, great, amazing. I loved it. I take long walks in the evenings. But people want me. My HR want me. Okay, you should survive the winters, so it can get a little harsh. They kept reminding me to buy winter wear, all of this. So, but I think Poland is, while I hear a lot of people, my friends, criticize the winters, but I think it's beautiful in the winters as well. It's an experience. If you like to experience something like that, I think I can't put it in vocabulary, unfortunately, but it's beautiful, amazing. And Poland has a lot of Indian restaurants. Almost every neighborhood has one or two Indian restaurants, so I feel at home. It's been great. It's been lovely.
Can you name some few of those restaurants where you really feel it's Indian taste? I mean, Indian taste, not the name of restaurant, but like real Indian taste.
You want me to name the restaurants?
Yeah, just few.
There's one Guru that I keep going to
in Warsaw.
In Warsaw. I think it's quite close to your office. Guru that I keep going to. There's one Bombay Masala that I go to quite often.
I heard about that.
Bombay Masala is nice, and And this is what I keep telling my friends is because when I go to an Indian restaurant in Poland, I see more Polish people in the Indian restaurant than the Indians. I think they like the food. I'm glad they like the food. But yeah, I feel just at home in Poland. So there's no problems. Everybody treats me nicely and I'm comfortable here.
Our previous guest, she's from Nepal and she opened the Indian restaurant in Warsaw.
Yeah?
So she's running that business and I was asking her like if Polish people really like it. She says the same, like people from Poland are really interested to try this new cuisine.
Yeah.
And I was asking like if there is some age limit. She says no, even the old people, they are coming and they are tasting. They have already the favorite dishes. Of course, it's chicken masala, so it's usual for everyone. Even me, I'm also taking this. When I don't know the cuisine, and I luckily took something unknown and I liked it, so I don't want to change the strategy.
Yeah.
So if I will be coming again, I will
use the template, right?
Of course, because who knows? Maybe another dish will not be for me. Are you visiting any cultural events in Poland?
I'm looking forward to visiting cultural events in Poland. So far, I've not had the opportunity to do so. I've just been working a lot, traveling on work. But I'm looking forward to it sometime soon. I was in an orchestra yesterday, which was beautiful, amazing. It was a scintillating experience, if I may say. I'm looking forward to, if possible, if fortunate, getting passes to Dracula, the ballet. I've been tracking them for quite some time. I don't think I would ever get an opportunity, but fingers crossed.
Cool. I'm really happy that different cultures, they are organizing here their events, engaging Polish people so they can try. Because 20 years ago, there was no single kebab on the street, no Indian food. And it's opening because Polish people are experiencing and they like it.
Yeah. And that's precisely what I was saying earlier, is because culturally, I think the Poles are very, very embracing, right? So they're open to trying new things. And you can see the result of that in the country, right? It's so diversified. You get Tibetan food. I was surprised to find a restaurant that serves Tibetan food. You'd probably find one or two in India, right? Mm-hmm. So there are restaurants that serve Tibetan food, Mexican food. This is only because people embrace this, and only because people accept something like this, and that's wonderful about Poland.
What are your job duties? What you are mainly concentrated on in your job?
I work with a Fortune 500 company. I'm the director of their IT business. My employer is typically into the human resource supply chain industry. So my job typically revolves around managing people, managing workforce, staffing them, recruiting them, the whole 9 yards, right? Anything to do with people, employment, anything to do with this is something that I do.
Have you been experienced in managing Polish people?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, or like I mentioned earlier, 98% of the staff with my employer in Poland are Polish. It's been they're super helpful. But yes, not all of them speak English fluently. But it's about making them comfortable, because you always have other colleagues who can help you. So, absolutely no problem.
You started to learn Polish?
I don't mind. This is a funny question, is because my friends in Poland don't teach me business standard Polish.
Of course.
So I don't want to speak Polish, is because I can get in trouble if you know what I mean. So unfortunately, my friends only teach me Polish to a point that I can get myself into trouble. But yes, I'm getting there. I'm slowly learning.
For how long you're in Poland?
It's been exactly 11 months.
11 months.
Yeah, it's my 11th month in Poland. Yeah.
Okay, and are you planning to? You have a project, right? So you have a contract which will be ending. So your purpose, you want to still stay here, or you want to go back to India or explore new countries within within your company?
You never know what the future holds for you, so I don't think too far into the future. But at the moment, I love what I do in Poland.
You just do your best and enjoy what
continue,
you
enjoy working, get the most out of the Polish culture and the Polish hospitality. And if everything's on our side, maybe continue for longer. But you never know. Yeah.
So when you were preparing for the interview for the visa, you told that you were learning the names of some locations in Poland. So have you visited those locations?
Yes, I've visited Zakopane in the recent past. Great place, great experience.
Which exactly place? Like right, the city Zakopane, or you went to the mountains?
In the mountains, I took the cable car. In the mountains, it was a great experience. I don't ski. Probably in the future I would learn how to ski, but it was an amazing experience. Apart this, I've unfortunately do a lot of traveling due to work, so I don't get the time to socialize in leisure in Poland. But I've visited Gdańsk, I've visited Krakow, I visited Wrocław, Katowice, a lot of these places. My employer has offices in these locations, so I'm typically working out of these.
Didn't you feel that you would like to stay somewhere else beside the Warsaw?
No, I like Warsaw. I love Warsaw. Yeah, I love Warsaw. I think the roads are bigger, people are nicer. I have a lot of friends here now, so I love Warsaw. But if need be, I don't mind relocating because it's the same. I make new friends, so on. So I love Warsaw. Yeah, I had no friends when I moved here, but people here are amazing. Not a minute did I feel uncomfortable or out of place or anything like that. So it's been great. It's been great.
Thank you, Krishna. It was a very nice pleasure.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
I really hope life in Poland will bring you new emotions, more high emotions. You'll be traveling more. I know that you already traveled, but still in Zakopane, there is much more cool places than city, mountains, and really, we don't have so much time in our life to visit all those places.
I know.
See, guys, today we had a very interesting podcast, as I told at the beginning. Subscribe, comment, like our videos, support our channel, and see you in new podcasts.